What happens if TikTok goes away? I was on a board of a company who had built a marketing strategy around Facebook. You know what happened? Cambridge Analytica. All those models around how much revenue they were expecting to come from running Facebook ads went away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Anthony. Listen, fam, you're in for a treat. This is Extra Credit Fridays. We go back, we go give you these iconic conversations with some of our past former guests, and today you will not be disappointed. We are back with none other than best-selling author Tina Wells. And on this episode, we talked about everything, fam, from business to marketing, strategies that actually work, and things you need to stop doing. Buckle up and enjoy this week's Extra Credit Fridays with none other than Tina Wells. Why do you feel, in terms of marketing, why do you feel a strategy and having a marketing strategy is important?
Oh, goodness. I mean, this is the perfect question for what we're living through right now. What happens if TikTok goes away?
Whew.
What happens? If
A
you
lot of
have built your business around a tool, no one should do that. And by the way, I was on a board of a company who had built a marketing strategy around Facebook. And you know what happened? Cambridge Analytica. And then all those models around how much revenue they were expecting to come from running Facebook ads went away. And I said, Facebook is not a marketing strategy. It is a tool,
Mm,
right? Tools can change, but you need to build a strategy around how you're going to acquire your customer. And too often people don't really know who their customer is. They go with a tool. And what does a tool do when it's nascent and new? It makes a lot of noise, right? So if you got onto TikTok before it became TikTok, you were able to grow, right? Think about the early Clubhouse. People in Clubhouse
Woo.
grew to a million. Who is talking about Clubhouse anymore?
Facts.
But I'm still talking to millennials. I mean, I have to reach my middle grade readers through librarians. That is who sells my books for the last 15 years because I carved out a niche in writing to at-risk readers. So who
Wow.
is focused on getting at-risk readers to read? Librarians. By the way, I didn't know that. That goes back to listening to your customer. I kept hearing one time my publisher said, we need you. Most people say no, but will you go to this librarian conference? They say that they recommend your books a lot to kids who are on the cusp of not reading. And I'm like, that's some data. I absolutely
Mm,
am going to go to this conference. And what did I do? Start talking to librarians and thought, okay, these are the gatekeepers to keeping my books in schools. What do they
good.
need? By the way, I also personally, as with my core values resonates helping children who are on the cusp of not reading get engaged in reading. We're aligned, right, in mutually beneficial goals. What's the strategy there? How do I craft that? What does that look like? What are elements of my books that then become marketable, right? I'm always going to have a text message, blog, something that makes it easier for a reader who might not likewise be as engaged in other material. I'm going to find that focus point. But that's the problem with Instagram, TikTok. They change algorithms, ideas, and then your marketing plan is gone. But that's not a plan. If your plan is built around a tool
Mm.
that you don't own, that's not a plan. You're setting yourself up to fail.
Oh man, this is gold. I've had a lot of authors on this show. Seth Godin, you name it. You name an author, they've been on this show. I have never heard an author say that. Right, the fact and the strategy behind it is so genius, and because it kind of reminds me. I come from the party world. It kind of reminds me of like an artist that was trying to break. Who did they go to? The DJs, right?
Exactly.
Like, so the fact that you went to the librarians and understood, like, oh, hey, look, they're gonna get these books into the person's hands that is the ideal reader. It's just crazy. So that was go. Let's keep it rolling. I like this. Right. Here's another question that the audience wanted to make sure that we asked you. Where should people, and we're talking about this right now, but where should people advertise their business?
There is no one place you should advertise your business. You should be telling me where you're going to advertise your business because you are so detailed into who your customer is. I used to go through an exercise at my agency with my team. And whoever the client was, I would say, let's name their customer. So I don't care if it's like Shamika likes A, B, and C. Darren does this. I want you to speak about these people so clearly as if they're friends because you are so detailed and you've really honed in on how we're going to reach them, right? It was an exercise really built around discipline. If you are not talking about your customer where you're like, He would never go there. He's not doing that. He's spending his 5 to 7, PM time doing A, B, and C. If you don't know that, then you don't really know your customer. And then you're just generalizing, right? And that means early on talking to your customers. How did you find my business? What is interesting to you? That research and how they get to you is so incredibly important. And a
Mm.
lot of times we just blow past that because we're trying to sell you something, right? We're not listening to how we fit in. And so then we can't craft a marketing plan because we actually don't know our customer. We know what we're trying to sell someone. We don't know who is actually going to be the person to buy it.